Hello, my name is Justine Sharkie and I'm a light language teacher. And I am so excited and honoured to be a part of this online event and to really be a part of Dr. Yugandhar and his whole team's vision for this series. So I'm going to be chatting to you today about light language and about how to receive, embody and share your unique light language. And so a tiny bit about me first. I live in Melbourne, Australia, in a Bayside suburb. I live with my husband Mick and my 3 young daughters, and I have an online mystery school for light language and for light language guardians, and it's really a community space where we learn and we share and we practice and play with light language techniques. As a safe place to really be our full selves, to be in our light and in our shadow and our vulnerability, and to be seen and witnessed for who we are. And I'm really passionate about creating communities and spaces in our world where we can fully be ourselves in our light and our shadow. And so this talk, I want to take you through some information around what light language is and how to receive it and embody it and share it in your own life. And I am light language obsessed. I just love thinking about it and playing with it and experimenting with it and having these more expansive experiences with it and seeing how expanded I can get it, and teaching other people and hearing other people's stories with it really excites me. So it's an exciting conversation to have today with you. So what is light language? So light carries information. It's encoded with information and intelligence and wisdom. And it's a frequency. So the higher the frequency, the higher the level of consciousness encoded within the light, so the more pure the light is. And so light language is really the movement of your light, the light that you are connected to, both locally and non-locally. So both with inside of you, the light encoded with inside of you, but also outside of you, perhaps from other dimensional realities. It's the relationship and the communication you have with your own light, your own essence. And so light language then becomes the movement of this. So it's the receiving of the light, or the activating and awakening the light within. It's the embodying the light, so taking it from not just a mental understanding, which is kind of hard with light language because it's a really hard thing to mentally understand because it's so multidimensional, but taking it from that understanding level to an embodiment and a wisdom level, so that you become the light language, that your essence becomes who you are and is encoded with everything that you do and that you say. And just you being here is really your light language when you're here with real presence and intention. And so another really important aspect of light language and the movement of this light is the ability to anchor it into the earth, to allow the earth to receive your light. So I really believe you were called here for a reason. Your soul was called here to the earth for her awakening and her evolution, as well as what she could hold space here for you to experience here. And so cultivating a relationship with your light language within the earth, and then also really importantly sharing your light. So whatever ways you are called to share, to be in the world, what you want to offer or create is sharing your light language. And it's limitless in the ways that you share your light language, and it's really through the things that bring you the most joy is the way that you share your light with others, which then activates their light and their remembering within them. And so that's a very short kind of like snapshot of what light language is and the way that I work with it and experience it. And I would love to take you through a framework of light language, which is really taking you into different aspects of yourself and the parts of ourselves that I believe we need to really build and rebuild our relationships with. And this is for our own spiritual and our own human evolution, but for the raising of a vibration of love and light on the planet. So doing this individually, but also collectively, building these relationships with these three pillars. And so I'm going to take you through the pillars now. So the three pillars are humanity, the divine feminine, and the quantum field. And so I'll take you through each of those. And I invite you, if you're in a really safe space at the moment where it's okay for you to close your eyes, you might even like to close down your eyes and feel into the qualities and the energies that I speak about, so that you can have your own experience and find your own truth within the framework. And so let's just tune into our humanity to begin with. And so taking a breath with what humanity means to you. And so we live in this three-dimensional reality in a human sense, and it's very much polarized. So everything is good, bad, right, wrong, black, white, night, day. Everything has a polar opposite in this realm, and this is what we're really here to navigate as human beings. This polarity, we're here to experience the full spectrum of what it's like to be human, our full light and our full shadow as well. And navigating the shadow can be really tricky, because as human beings, both individually and collectively, we hold a lot of shadow. We hold a lot of belief in separation, of fear and doubt and uncertainty, especially in the times that we're navigating at the moment. And so with humanity, I'd like to invite your attention into your heart space. And you can place your hands over your heart, or just bring your awareness into your heart and just take some breaths here. And so it's through the heart space that we really balance all polarities, and the breath is such beautiful medicine for this as well. And so breathing with our heart space, we begin to take these polarities of ourselves, the light and the shadow with ourselves, and we bring everything into union within the heart. And three qualities that are really helpful for me and for my students to navigate humanity, to navigate especially the shadow aspects of ourselves when our unhealthy thoughts and patterns and beliefs come up, and the heavier, denser part of ourselves that we need to navigate in this journey of life. There's three qualities that I find really helpful, and I invite you to feel into these qualities now and see what they do for you as you experience them in your body. And so it's helpful. They all start with C, so they're easy to remember. So they are curiosity, compassion, and commitment. And so navigating this human journey, this crazy and wild journey of being a human with real curiosity, and invite this sense of curiosity into your body now and see what happens when you become curious. Curiosity can really open up our experience. It can settle down the mind and take away all the expectations and the shoulds and how things should have been done in the past and how they should be done in the future. And it really opens us up to the present moment, and we can start to ask ourselves the question, what's really here for me? What's really present now? What can I learn from this feeling or this thought or this experience that I'm having? And so entering our humanity with curiosity, I find, is such a circuit breaker for me, and something so helpful when I'm navigating some of those denser shadow aspects of myself, or when I'm tuning into that for the collective. The second one is compassion, and having a real radical sense of compassion for ourselves and compassion for ourselves as a collective humanity. And so when we invite this quality in, what happens to your energy? What happens to the thoughts that you have towards yourself and others? What happens to the beliefs that you hold when you really shine the light of compassion onto yourself? Feeling the softness in your body. That compassion can bring. And the last quality that I invite you to explore when navigating this polarity of light and shadow, and when you've got that intention to come back into your heart space, is commitment. And unlike the commitment that I've been brought up with, which is you make a decision and you stick to it and you rock up and you work really hard and you do, finding that place of commitment, which is really a commitment to your deeper self, a commitment to what you need in each moment, and a commitment to the present moment itself. And so every time you stray away from the path, every time you stray away from this intention you have to come back into your heart space to balance these polarities of your humanity, really cultivating that quality of commitment and bringing yourself back in each moment. And every time you wander away, gently bringing yourself back with compassion, with curiosity as well. And so that's the pillar of humanity that I wanted to touch on, one of the pillars of light language, and a relationship that we need to cultivate with ourselves, this human aspect of ourselves, as well as being spiritual beings. We are also human, and that needs a really special type of relationship cultivated within ourselves. The next pillar is the divine feminine, and rebuilding this relationship with the divine feminine quality and this frequency. And this isn't about gender, because males and females have a divine feminine, a feminine quality to them. And so this speaks to all genders. And it's about awakening this within ourselves, but also awakening this within the collective. And so the divine feminine is really a master of the unknown. She's a master of the shadow, the depths, the intuition. She's a master of vulnerability and surrender. She's a master of creation, and she's a master of really sitting in the unknown, sitting in the unknown and sitting in absolute chaos. And she's the master of being empowered in those moments, calm and centered in those moments, having a deep trust within herself. And when you feel into those qualities, imagine yourself navigating life, having mastered the divine feminine, the qualities of the divine feminine. And so that every situation that arises for you, every new level that you step into, having cultivated those qualities and having a really strong presence within those qualities, within those situations. And then imagine the collective having that, having mastered the divine feminine. And the last pillar is cultivating a relationship with the quantum field. And this is something that's, even science now is really, it's amazing breakthroughs have been discovered in our lifetime in this quantum field. And so the quantum field is this invisible energy of limitless possibilities, of limitless healings and insights. It's a space of nothingness that anything and everything can be birthed from. And it's a much higher vibration than our third dimensional mind, the 3D, that operates really on knowing and understanding and making rational sense. And it expands us out into really having many experiences with energies and frequencies that we might not be able to physically see or rationally make sense of, but we can have a real and profound experience with them when we can raise our vibration into the 5th dimensional level of consciousness. And this intelligence is speaking to you in every single moment, and it's coming through your local environment through nature and animals and trees and flowers and water and inside of the earth and the crystals inside of the earth. And it's also coming to you from above. It's coming to you from the planets and the moons and the planetary alignments and the stars and star systems and the places that you have mastered before and have had beautiful experiences before as a soul. This quantum energy is speaking to you from these places. We can experience multiple timelines in the quantum field. And we can also experience the quantum field from inside of us, from our inner world. And so when we start to really play with this idea of limitless possibilities, limitless experiences, and really opening our mind to have experiences that are outside of our physical reality, this is where we can really start to access and connect to and build a relationship with our light language at a much deeper level, our light, our frequency, our essence, what we are here for. And so the umbrella really for these three pillars is presence, being human and really navigating this humanity aspect of us. We need to be present with ourselves. The divine feminine is presence. She is presence. The only way to access the quantum field through the fourth dimension of our heart space is through presence. It's the only gateway into the quantum is through the present moment. And so cultivating a presence with yourself and with life around you is a fundamental way to really connect with your light language. And so just in some closing words, really taking from this framework what really spoke to you today. There's a lot of information in it in a short period of time, and so maybe just choosing one thing, one quality, one word that really spoke to you that you would love to invite into your experience and start to master that aspect of yourself. And really inviting trust and belief, and when you set the intention, knowing that all life is going to reorganize itself to really bring you that, to really help activate that within you. I am really running out of time, not in the quantum field. So I'll finish with a really short little practice together. And it's very simple, but it can be really profound when we do it regularly. So if you're safe enough to, please close your eyes. Otherwise, you can do it awake and perhaps do it in your own time when you can. But let's just take a few moments together to breathe in the light that is all around us. And so just giving yourself a moment to soften any tension in the body. Soften any tension in the mind. Reminding yourself of your own brilliance, your own ability to do this. And what happens if you get really curious as to what is wanting to speak to you in this moment? And what if you open yourself up enough to receive the light that is all around you? Or perhaps receiving the light from within you. And from all directions around you and from within you, breathing in the light and receiving. Thank you so much for sharing this space with me today. I would love to hear from you. So if you have any questions or if you'd love any more information, I'd love to hear. I'd love to connect with you. I'd love to hear of your own light language experiences. And I just wish you So much love and so much light, especially for the rest of this amazing online series. And I will see you soon. Much love. Bye.